So I thought we could do a quick get ready with me, a really easy no makeup look, and review the new Rimmel Wonderbond Mascara. So this is a no makeup look, which means literally hardly any product and dominantly all about skincare to enhance your natural beauty. So obviously this video is going to start with me doing my skincare, and the first process of my skincare will always be hyaluronic acid. I spray my face with water and then I apply the hyaluronic acid. Always make sure you have a damp face when using hyaluronic acid, because in basic terms, hyaluronic acid latches onto water and doubles its molecular size, so therefore your skin will appear more plump and hydrated. Once I've applied the hyaluronic acid, I go in with my ARGIRELINE solution. Please do ignore the state of this bottle. My vitamin C exploded in the bag, so everything ended up looking dirty and orange. Cure and seal the moisture. I then go in with some SNAIL MUCIN serum, which I've now used, I think, coming up to like 2 years, and I absolutely love it. This definitely changed the game in my skincare routine. Do be careful though, because some people don't like this product, so you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. My skincare to soak in for 2 minutes. Whilst that layer of my skincare is soaking in, I take some of this Boots nipple cream. This is used for people who are breastfeeding, but I am absolutely in love with it. You take a little amount, put it on your lips, let it warm up to your body temperature, and then start rubbing it in. This has changed the game for my lips. My lips have not been chapped in ages. In January, I was having a terrible time with my lips, and I went and got this, and it was the best thing ever. Then I go in with my Weleda skin food. This has been a staple now for years. This again is a love-hate relationship. You either love it or you hate it. I absolutely love it. It's done wonders for my skin, and yeah, I can't say bad things about it, but I do know people who have experienced bad things about it. So it's just like everything. Some things are for some people and some things aren't. Always make sure you use the Weleda by warming it up in your hands. Don't pull on the skin, pat it into the skin, because it is a pretty thick product. Then always go in with SPF. This is the L'Oreal Revitalift Clinical SPF 50 Skin Fluid, and I absolutely love this. This has been a staple of mine again, I think now for 2 years. I think it's coming up to 2 years this summer, and I absolutely love it. I think it's 2 years. It could be a year. No, it's definitely 2. I feel like I've bought about 3 of these, but I absolutely love it. I always wear SPF every single day without fail. I know we don't have sunshine in England, and you might think you don't want to use it, but honestly, pop it on. Your skin is going to thank you for it, and you're going to look young and youthful for a little bit longer than you were going to be. So why not just apply it? It takes 2 seconds, and I always find your makeup just sits well better when you've got your SPF on. It tends to have a lot of glycerin in it, so it clings to the skin. Then leave that to soak for 5 minutes. If you can do it for 10, even better. And now let's do the no makeup part. So I took my L'Oreal Lumi Glotion in shade 901. I 100% used far too much. I don't know what was going on with me this day. I just decided I wanted to use loads for whatever reason. And yeah, it was way too much. So don't use that much. Put a little bit on your hand. I was trying to do that fancy, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube application, and it failed miserably for me. But then I just worked that into the skin. Now, I love 901 on my skin because I don't have to worry about it looking different to me neck. Sometimes 902, when I apply it all over, it looks like I've got a browner face than my neck, and I don't want that because we're not putting makeup on. Now, I can go in with 902 when I'm wearing foundation, but we're not wearing foundation today because we're doing a no makeup look with next to no products. And we want this to be quick. We want this to be something you can throw on of a morning if you're going to work, going to the shops, whatever it is. It's really quick. I'm then going in with shade 902 of the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, and I'm putting this in the areas that you would naturally catch the sun. So I'm basically using this like a little bronzer. Now, this isn't a drastic change in colour, but it's just given that little flush of bronziness, but without it being all over my face and creating that difference from my neck that I spoke about earlier. So you just want to pop this in the bronzy areas. Now, if you don't want to use L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, you can use any cream bronzer you own. You can use a powder bronzer if you don't want to be as, sticky or dewy. So it is completely down to you. This is fully adaptable. And in this light, you can't really see it, but in normal daytime light, it just creates a tiny, tiny bit of dimension. Now, some days I will go in with a cream bronzer rather than this, but this was what was at hand and I was rushing. And that's the whole point of this look. I wanted it to be something that if you're getting up of a morning or you're sitting on a train going to work, you'd be able to do this with ease. Next step is brows. Now, I could have left my brows as they were once I brushed them through, but I thought to myself, you know what? Most people do their eyebrows, so I wanted to show you how I would do my natural eyebrow with a no makeup look. So I start off with my NYX Clear Brow Gel. I work that product into the eyebrow hairs because I want to make sure that the brows stay in place. I really need to stop pulling at this very serious, tense face. Like, what is this facial expression when I'm doing my eyebrows? Nonetheless, this is what I do. I literally just brush them into place. I don't over laminate them. I just want them to sit in a nice position. I'm not a giant fan of the over laminated look, so I just want to make sure that they sit in a really nice position, looking really natural and just fluffy, just a nice little fluff. Once the eyebrows set, I then move on and do my concealer. Now I need 2 concealers for this no makeup look, and this isn't what you might need, but it's what I need. So I use 2 of the soft matte concealers from NARS in shade Custard and Vanilla, and there's a reason for this. The first shade I take is Custard, as it's slightly warmer than my skin, and I have freckles in this area that I'm placing it. This orbital area around my eyes where my eye does sink a little bit, I need that concealer to match my freckles, because if I use something that is much lighter, which I'm going to go in with a minute, it doesn't match the freckles. It makes it really obvious that I've got concealer on, and that's not what I want. So going in with Custard blends into the freckles and therefore makes it look much more natural and much more like my own skin. Now, once I've gone in with Custard, I do maybe apply it into certain areas around my nose if it's looking a little bit red, but it's just basically the leftover residue that's on the brush. Now, once the shade Custard's done, I then go in with the shade Vanilla. And as you can see, this one is a lot more lighter than Custard, and I use this closer to the eye area and in the inner corner of the eye to brighten all that area, and then work that into Custard, and that's how I get that much nicer, brighter under eye without it being obvious, but also blending into my freckles. I don't think people realise how difficult it is to have a concealer look natural and like your skin with no makeup when you have freckles. That's why you'll find people who have freckles tend to just throw a foundation on, because it's so much easier than faffing around trying to get it to blend. But this is how I've mastered it. This is what I love to do. I can do this with any concealer I want, but I prefer the soft matte concealers for a day-to-day no makeup look. The NARS concealers are always great. I love these. They last, they're long wearing. They're just really good, and they're really compact. So if you're trying to do this on the way to work, maybe on the train, on the bus, this is just really, really easy. So I am using a candle lid as my mirror. I couldn't find my handheld and I couldn't be bothered looking for it. So anyway, let's finish off the brows. I went in with my NYX brow pen. I could have left it, but I never. I went in, turns out the pen's dried out and I need a new one. So rather than show you this, I'm actually going to skip the whole drawing on some fake hair bits and move forward to my Givenchy powder. So I just took a really small amount of the Givenchy powder in the hollows of my eyes, just to mat that area out. This just makes the hollows appear less obvious for when I'm in different lighting. It's just something I'm really self-conscious of. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. This, again, is personal preference. And that is basically the skin done. So let's review the new Rimmel mascara. So I've applied my mascara on this eye already. I just wanted to get a first impression so I know what to talk about in this part of the video. So I'm going to curl the eyelashes on this eye, which I did the exact same on the other eye. Now I'm just going to apply it to the top eyelashes. And what I will say is this did clump a little bit on the other eye. So now I know that I'm going to go a little bit more lighter-handed with it when I'm applying it. Straight off the bat though, the bristles are a bit tough, which I do find is quite common in Rimmel mascara. I reviewed a Rimmel mascara a really long time ago, very similar packaging to this one, and I was not a big fan of it whatsoever. It had really tough bristles and the wand had no movement. What I will say is this one got a lot more movement than that mascara. So that's an improvement on the wand, but the bristles need to be a little bit softer. They're just a little bit too hard, and therefore they tickle that underneath of my eye. Now this is applying a lot better than the other eye. As you can see on this eye, we had a little bit of clumping. If you look underneath, there's a little bit of clumping there, but now I know how to use it. I know what to do. That's why first impressions isn't always the best, but you can get used to certain mascaras. Some mascaras you'll find work a wonder straight away, and some you'll hate initially and then love. That's one coating right there. My lashes do look nice. Just want to brush them a little bit there. I think the key for this mascara is just getting rid of any excess on the end and using them bristles just to brush through. But as you can see, it's already gathering a little bit. So I'm going to move on to the bottoms. I am going to re-dip. And by the way, always do bottoms first if you're doing your own mascara. This is just for the purpose of this video. When I'm doing it normal, I always do bottoms and then top. You get to see me in all my glory, pulling all my ugly faces. And that is the bottom mascara. So I'm now going to take the brush and I'm going to go back in. I normally always do 2 coats of mascara. And that is that eye done. Now, as you can see, this eye is a little bit thicker than this eye. And that is 2 coats on that eye. As you can see, it is a little bit prone to clumping a little bit on the lashes. But other than that, I would say it's applied pretty. It is definitely more of like a heavy, juicy mascara straight away. Seems to be a lot that goes on your eyelashes. And I do feel like I'm going to have to balance it out onto this eye, which can happen with my own eyelashes because they are quite long and quite dense, especially on this eye, not as much on this eye. So I'm just going to even it out and I'll come back. So that's both lashes done. I've also cleaned up the top, so we've got nothing there, but that is both eyelashes, well, eyes finished. Straight off the bat, from first impressions, I do think this was a little bit clumpy, a little bit thick in areas. Don't get me wrong, it's still quite dark, and for a serum foundation, if it is hydrating my lashes and making them better, then great. But just off the application process, I found the bristles to be a little bit too spiky, which therefore could irritate my eye, which, to be fair, I suffer with watery eyes, so I have to be really, really careful, because if I do a full face and then go in with something that I know has got spikes that are very harsh, I'm going to struggle. So that's the first thing. Number 2, I would say that the wand has definitely got a lot more movement than previous Rimmel mascara wands. Could do with a little bit more bendiness, but it's definitely way more than usual when it comes to Rimmel mascaras for me. It has applied nice, little bit chunkier than I thought it was going to be, but nonetheless still nice. Now, my eyelashes do cling to mascara pretty easy. They just have the tendency to just go, and so everything always instantly looks like spider eyes straight away. But that's just the way my eyelashes are. Now, I haven't had any irritation from this yet. It feels nice. It does feel really light is what I will say. But now we just need to see how it wears, and that's the most important thing for me, because I'm sick to death of seeing people review mascaras over on the other video platform app and not doing a wear test. I will say as well, it's dried pretty quick, which is good. That's a good thing. And it's made my eyelashes look really pretty. It's nice and dark. So I just need to get rid of that underneath. Let's get rid of you. My eyelashes were hiding that. That's both eyes done. I am pleasantly impressed with how black it is. I do think my eyelashes look really nice. And obviously, if this is going to be putting serum in my lashes and making them better and stronger, then that's a win. But up to now, pleasantly surprised. So it is now, to be fair, I'm also doing a video for that other platform and I stopped at 148, but just so you can see, it's now 153. Now I've got clients in next, and then I've got to go and do some shopping. So I'm gonna have this on till about 7 o'clock at night. So stay tuned to see the wear test. I am having a wild Saturday night. I've finished work and now I'm doing my facial manual. I'm editing it. I want to just add some extra little bits to it. So I am ready to get in the shower and get into my pajamas and get comfy while I do this and watch some TV. So this is what we are now dealing with. And I do have a full opinion on this. So let me just bring you a little bit closer. So I'm going to tip this. As you can see, we've got transfer and crumble there. A tiny bit of crumble there. But on this side, we've got no crumble or transfer on the top, and only a very, very small amount on the bottom. So it is a little bit inconsistent in the transfer and the crumble. Do I think the mascara looks nice? Yes. Do I think it applies well? Pretty much, yeah. I'm not fussed on the Rimmel spikes that they put on their mascara ones. I just don't like it. They really do irritate my eye, and if I'm already having a watery eye, which can tend to happen with me, I don't like using something like that on them. I like my bristles to be really silicone-y and soft, whereas theirs feels like actual spikes sometimes. So I do think they need to work on that. Something Rimmel definitely needs to work on. What I will also say is I do think this mascara would be prone to clumping a lot more. I don't think it'd last as long. Now, if you love that clump effect, then you will like that element to it. I know a lot of people like the clumpiness on the mascara because it makes them appeal thicker and bigger, and some people love it, some people hate it. Now, I'm neither or. I'm in the middle. I love a little bit of thickness, but not too thick. Now, I do think these look really nice. I think it's very, very black, which I like. It is unfortunate that it has transferred underneath, and I do have long bottom eyelashes. So that is a major, major thing for me, because I have to make sure it's not going to transfer because my bottom eyelashes are so long. My top ones aren't ginormous, but they're also not short. But what I will say, that is only a crumble. There is no transfer on the top. There is no transfer or smudging. It is literally just a crumb. So I'm going to give this a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. And I also just want to say as well that this was sent to me in the post from Rimmel. So you can take that as you will, because I don't love it and I don't dislike it. I'm a little bit in the middle. Now, what I do think this mascara would be good for is if you have really bad eyelashes, maybe you're recovering from a really bad treatment that you might have had done, so on and so forth, then I do think this would be a good work mascara. Be something that you can just put on for work and not have to worry. I've got a feeling it's going to be really easy to take off, which I will put in the description down below if it was. So I do think that's what it'd be good for. Day to day, something easy, something that you don't need, like, that's not waterproof and hard wearing on the lashes, then yeah, this would probably be a good pick. You would just have to clean up the little elements to the mascara, which really is quite easy. You can just get rid and look. Now, you could do that with a nice little concealer brush so you don't ruin your makeup, but it is quite fixable and it has held the curl quite nicely. So yeah, I'm going to give this like a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. I can't fully decide which number I'm going to give it, but that's my opinion. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.